皆様ごきげんよう、鳴杜水月の生配信へようこそいらっしゃいました。Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I am extremely sorry for the wait. 大変遅くなってしまいまして、本当に申し訳ございません。ここまで、遅刻したこと多分あんまないんですけど、I think this is the first time that I've been this late.And 5 minutes late, I am extremely sorry. すいません。もう5分も遅れてしまいました。本当大変申し訳ございません。ということで、ごきげんよう。Good evening, good evening. I decided to use this streaming overlay. I used this when I did my appreciation stream, but yeah. そう、こちらの、3000人ありがとう配信の時に使った配信画面を使っております。ということで、プレガさん、カソダニさん、アジュカさん、大変ありがとうございます。Thank you so much for waiting. で、タイムトゥトゥエルさん、はい、プレガさん、ごきげんよう。エンジョルさん、こんばんは。先生では、こんばんは。Again, thank you so much for being here. And so, let me explain how this goes. ちょっとね、先にこれがどういう感じの配信なのかっていうのだけね、ご説明させていただきます。So, for those of you who don't know, I'm holding this challenge called Study with Mizuki 2023. It's kind of like, it's still an experiment almost. So I had so much ideas and I wasn't able to execute it as well, but it's a challenge where I challenge all of you to try to memorize 1,000 Japanese words in the course of a year. If you'd like to know more about the details, there's a link to the video in the description box below, which is the video that I explain all of them to you. The thing is, this challenge is going to end in about a month. September 30th will be our last day, and probably on December 1st or 2nd, I will be doing a follow-up stream, like an ultimate follow-up stream, where I ask you what you have learned, what you were able to accomplish, and anything that you have in mind that you want me to do in the next coming years. ということで、こちらの配信なんですけれども、私ですね、1年間で1000単語を日本語の単語を覚えようっていうチャレンジを行っておりまして、それのフォローアップ配信となっております。もうある意味実験的な試みなので、ちょっとね、来年からもっといろいろできたらなと。もういつもこう、最悪。あ、来たかな？ Sorry. Hello. 皆様。ごきげんよう。Hello.戻ってきた。I am so very sorry. ごめんなさい。切れました。I'm so very sorry. はい、お帰りです。はい、ありがとうございます。ハッキーさん、こんばんは。家に着いたばっかりです。あら、お帰りなさいませ。And thank you for joining. ってことでね。Where was I at? Oh yeah, I was explaining about the challenge in Japanese. そう、日本語で説明をしてたんですよね、確かね。実験的な感じなので、来年から他の言語 をね、勉強されたい方のチャレンジも含めたりいろいろしてみようかなと思っているんですけれども、9月の30日が最終日のチャレンジとなっております。So this stream will be in two different parts. First part, I will be featuring your posts that you have posted using the hashtag StudyWithMizuki2023, and on the second part, I'll be answering any of the Japanese related questions that you have. This stream might be about 2 hours long. Who knows? But I will plan to end this before the clock strikes 12. But yeah, so if you have any questions or if you have any things that is not fully clear to you, if you have any words that you don't really know how to use it, if you have any grammar points that you don't really know how to use, let me know in the comments and I'll go over them with you. 一応ですね、こちらの配信2パートに分かれておりまして、最初の前半はですね、皆様の投稿してくださったものをみんなで眺めてすげーって言おうっていうパートで、2つ目のパートですね、それが終わりましたら後半戦なんですけれども、皆様の言語に関するご質問であったり、基本的に日本語なんですけれども、ご質問にね答えていけたらなと思っております。よろしくお願いしますってことで、 Without further ado, let's go。 もう始めちゃいましょう。こちら、最後のね、フォローアップ配信となってるんですけど、 I know this is the last follow-up stream that we're gonna hold, and there was 6 posts. Thank you so much. はい。シャキールさん、よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。So thank you so much for all of you who has posted. ポストね、投稿してくださった皆様ありがとうございます。ということで、最初のおやつからいきますか。8月分の投稿ですね。This is the stuff from August. あと、一応ね、皆様のね、元のツイートも、貼りますので、I'll also be posting the link to all of your original posts so that you all will be able to go like and say good job. こうやってね、皆様のね、ツイートも、これから先、こうやって、載せていこうと思いますので、もしよろしければぜひね、こちらのリンクから言っていただいて、いいねとか、すごいとかね、コメントしていただけたらなと思います。Let's uplift each other. 皆様一緒にね、頑張ろうって気持ちになれたらなと思っております。ということで、アリス隊長さん、Thank you so very much. いつもありがとうございます。So that it is time to get serious. A whole month of doing nothing. ギガドリルブレイク。I'm really lazy. Absent Coder さん、こんにちは。いや、大丈夫ですよ。I know it's really hard for a lot of us. I know that a lot of us, that a lot of you that watches my streams are like, you know, over 50% of the people that watches my streams are older than 25 years old. And so, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are really, really busy. 私のチャンネルね、配信見てくださる方結構、年齢、高めではないんですけど、25歳以上の方が多いのでね、社会人大変ですよね。Pretty sure it's really hard when we all have a full-time job, right? So, good job! でもよくできました。Let's look into it. ちょっと見てみましょう。なんだろう。パンピーパンピーって書いてある。パンピーって書いてある。はい。パンピーとかね、吐砂物、取り込む、肝試し、驚かす、腹の中、結界突破。あ、これあれですね。This is probably from one of my videos, from 呪術廻戦 videos. これ多分私の呪術廻戦動画の単語ですね。ありがとうございます。Thank you very, very much. Really quick.アリス隊長さん、I'm pretty sure アリス隊長さん 's at work. アリス隊長さん、多分ね、今ね、お仕事中なんですよね。世界の地球の反対側に住んでいらっしゃいますから。But, let me explain really, really quick. ちょっとね、ご説明したいことがあります。Let me explain the difference between the カタカナ、and so. 待って。Okay. So I think this is one of the hardest things for a lot of us, isn't it? To distinguish the difference. これ難しいと思うんですよ。違いがわからないみたいなね。パンピー。そう、パンピー。Does anybody in the comments know how to distinguish the differences between the two? In the chat? You chat. そう、チャット欄の皆様どうやったら、その違いってわかるかご存知ですか？ Let me ask you. ちょっと待ってみよう。パソピーに見えちゃうからね。そうなんですよ。パソピーに見えちゃう。はい。あ、Blue Tears さん、涙さん、Hi! Is this your first time? Or maybe I have already met you. Sorry if we had, but yeah, I suffer in these katakana. I know it's so hard, isn't it? そう、難しいですよね。なかなかややこしいなって思うんですよね。うん。シャキンさん、I always get confused between the two. Ooh, then this might be a good time to learn. 結構わからないって方いらっしゃるみたいなので。Okay. So, let me add this. I've been here a couple of times. Oh, okay. Sorry. I am so sorry. I'm getting a little bit bad at remembering people's names. ごめんなさい。でもありがとうございます。Thank you so very much. So, okay. So this is and so. When I would like to explain it, 実際書くなら、そうよりもスリムにする感じのイメージ。面白いとこついていらっしゃいますね。それもありかもしれない。でも実はもっとわかりやすい違いがあるんですよ。It might be harder to see when it's like written in these kind of fonts, but I want you to look at they align vertically. The dot and the long line, they align vertically on the left side. なんです。カタカナのなんですけれども、自分で書いた方が分かりやすいかもしれないですね。日本人の我々はね。でも、って結構、点と線が、左側でね、なんていうの？同時点から始まってるんですよ。On the other hand, so is a little bit different. So it aligns horizontally on the top. So なんですけれども、上の方が平行になってんの。は、縦に横の縦が平行で、so は上の横が平行になってるイメージです。It would be so much easier if I could write things for you. But I don't really have the devices. Sometime next year, I do hope that I can get one of those devices so that I can use my iPad for streaming. ちょっと来年ね、ペンダブをなんかね、ちょっと導入したいなって思ってるんですけど。So, I've heard of this explanation. It's good. Okay, great. Thank you. は右へ、左書いたが、そうは上から下に書いた。そうですね。そうです。Another big difference is the way of the stroke. You start from the bottom and the line goes up. The long line, the second stroke is what we were talking about. You start from the bottom and it goes up. So, on the other hand, it starts from the top and it goes below. It goes down. Those differences are a lot more pivotal and it's a lot more clear when you see people write in brushes, because a lot of Asian languages we used to write things with brushes. We didn't have pens, we didn't have like feather pens and stuff, and so a lot of original kanji characters, hiragana, katakana, they're written in brushes. So those differences are a lot more visible when it's written in brushes. I think it's a little bit harder when people write in pens. It's so much easier to see the difference when people write in pencils or thicker pens, but this is the difference. So, の点は横線に近い方が書かれがち。確かにね。Can I send a link of an image of this explanation? Sadly, If it's something that you have written, like, yes. You can send it to me and I will post the link to the comments. So, シャラさんこんばんは。between the カタカナ、so, and, just now. Okay, sorry. Let me retweet it on Twitter too. はい。Crayon thickens super nothing. しとつの違いは同じ。そう、しとつの違いも同じです。As you said, the difference between し and つ is very similar to that. なかなかね、I think everyone got it. Oh, okay. よかったです。But yeah, We'll see what we can do better, but そうです。ということで、that's the difference between and so とその違いでした。アレス隊長さん、ありがとうございました。拍手。パチパチパチパチパチ。Start the clap. ちょっと待って、私もパチパチ書いとこう。OK。 ありがとうございました。Again, thank you so very much. では次に行きましょうかね。パチパチパチパチ。素晴らしい。よし。うとそがうるさい。主張が強い。では次です。次、カラさんです。カラさんさ VTuber as well。カラさんも VTuber の方ですね。はい。Here are words I learned throughout last week. I'll do this weekly and post either on Sunday or Monday. I'm still having problems getting the proportion right in some of the kanji, so I'll try using gridded papers next week. Ooh, good job! そう、確かにね、日本語の書き方とか、ハンドライティングなんての綺麗に書きたいって方は、横線よりも、方眼紙の方がいいかもしれないですね。So like Kara-san said, it might be easier for you to get the right proportions of Japanese letters if you want to work on your handwriting. But that's a big if, okay? That's a if. よくできました。すごい単語が、いろいろ。I see a lot of interesting 漢字見て、雑魚って書いてある。そう、雑魚、a fish, a nobody. そう、雑魚 means something like, a person without much powers. あ、マリアさん、good evening ごきげんよう。攻めた単語してるね。神主とかね、神主 is like the priest of Shintoism. すだれハゲ。すだれハゲ。We have すだれハゲ。面白い。そう。A type of holding hairstyle. So yeah, すだれ means like the bamboo, as it says here, the bamboo screen, or like one of those very like whimsy looking curtains. That is basically just lines coming from the top, and hage means bold. So すだれハゲ is a type of being bold when people hold on to the very small amount of hair that they have, and it almost looks like one of those like beaded or like bamboo curtains. すだれハゲを英語で説明する日が来るとは思わなかったですね。The word list is pretty saucy in relation to each other's they are. 大腿骨とかもも、ちょっと待って、童貞って書いてあった。それちょっとどっから取ってきたのこれ。Where did you get those words? わあ、びっくりした。ちょっと、ハゲよりもすごい攻めた言葉がありましたわよ。But I'll post a link to the original tweet. 一応ね、元々のツイートのリンク載せておきますので、皆様いいね、ぜひ行ってみてください。Make sure you go like it. はい。はい、キャッチャーした。sus, very sus. 怪しいぞっていうことでね。はい。まあでもありがとうございました。I like words like だし汁とか明太子とかね。I don't know if any of you like fish roll, but 明太子 is my favorite. もう私明太子大好き。からし明太子が大好きです。のど飴 throat。あ、これいいやつ。私はのど飴が大好きです。throat, what does it say? ちょっと待って。throat lozenge? Why is it that I am so bad at reading English? But yeah, のど飴 is one of those throat candies that a lot of us use. It soothes your throat, especially when you have a sore throat. It's nice. ということで、カラさんありがとうございました。Thank you for the very sus words. はい、すごいね、面白い単語の数々ありがとうございました。パチパチパチパチ。That was not expected. いや、マジでびっくりしちゃった。面白。はい。ということで、ありがとうございました。よくできました。ということで、はい。次もアレス隊長さんです。アレス隊長さん、ありがとうございます。Thank you again, アレス隊長さん。よいしょ。はい。先にね、リンク貼っときますね。I'll post the link first. はい。ということで、I was watching a simple conversation video and I was able to understand all of it. やばーThat's awesome! すごい I don't think I would speak on that level, but understanding it was really rewarding. Oh, that's so awesome! I know that output is always a lot harder than input, but once you get to that certain level, you'll be able to start getting, like, learning things like not intentionally. You can learn it more in a passive way. Like once you get to a certain point, you're gonna just be able to listen to things and just realize that there's patches or words that you don't really know. You can just focus on those words and it's gonna be so much easier for you. So that's awesome. すごいあれスタイチョウさん。めっちゃすごいな。ってことで簡単な会話を全部理解できたってね。競争たくさんいろいろある。元気です。まあまあです。あまり元気じゃないです。でも少し疲れていますってね。はい。あ、これは透明人間格納形態素通り武器庫競争やけくそ。あ、これも私の多分あれですね。呪術廻戦の動画かな。I'm guessing this is also from my 呪術廻戦動画。my 呪術廻戦learn Japanese through 呪術廻戦 videos。競争が入ってるから。ね。そう。ね、2期すごいですからね、シングマね。ってことで、That's so awesome. すごいな。ちょっとこれ先にね、リツイートさせてください。Let me retweet it really quick. Amazing. Amazing with a capital G. Great job with your improvement. ということで、ありがとうございました、アレス隊長さん。Thank you so very much, アレス隊長さん。You're doing so awesome. ということでね、はい、パチパチの時間です。Let's パチパチパチ。パチパチパチ。素晴らしい。素晴らしい。よいしょ。パチパチパチ。はい、では次に行こうかな。I guess we'll move on. ザフランさん。ザフランさんありがとうございます。私の試験が終わり。Time to come back for my Japanese lesson and today got tips from me on how to learn vocab. Yay! Looks like I make a lot of mistakes on how to learn it. でも頑張りますということで。Good job! 頑張ってください。よいしょ。あれ？Something new. よし。ではさっきにね。wait, did I just post it? 待って。I don't know. Oh, I'm losing track of things. Okay. Oh, I don't think I posted the link. 先にね、コメント欄にリンクをポストさせていただきます。私の試験が終わり、Let's talk about Lee really quick. I know this is a little bit interesting, but you usually don't end a sentence with Lee. 基本的にですね、実は Lee って文章は終わりません。Because Lee is kind of like it's like a middle point of when you're conjugating a word. 終わり is probably short for like 終わります。You can use 終わり but you don't want to use 終わり when you're trying to make a sentence, if that makes sense. It sounds a little bit like it's not full, if that makes sense. I don't know.ってことで、Let's talk about 終わり。ちょっとね、終わりっていう言葉について話をしようかな。Okay, so 終わり。終わり can be a word on its own only when it's used kind of like as it's really hard to explain. It can be a word when it's used on its own, if that makes sense. 終わり is short.It's not short, but when you are trying to use it in a sentence, it is short for 終わります。終わります。終わります。The original verb here is 終わる。I would also add the 漢字。終わる is the original verb. 終わる means to end. To end. So, Dafran san, and everybody else, if you would like to change, or if you like to express the fact that, like an adverb, not really. 終わり is literally just like a part of the verb to end. It's really hard to explain it. It's really hard to explain. But imagine that I say something like, I am ending this experiment. Imagine that I say something like I ending experiment, It's a little bit different because I just took away the particles in the English sentence, but it just doesn't feel full, right? The meaning can still be conveyed. It doesn't mean that it is grammatically perfectly correct. You can say like 試験が終わり。試験の終わりかな。So you can use 終わり as a part of a sentence when you want to use it as a noun. But 終わり is a noun. Oh, I think that's it. 終わり is a noun. 終わります is a verb. In Japanese, you can't end a sentence with a verb unless you end it with a this. So there's two options for this. There's two options. 私の試験 or I can say 試験の終わり。試験の終わり。試験の終わりなら言えるかな Okay, so the parentheses is the ひらがな or the word or the 漢字 So 試験の終わり will simply means the end of the exam or it can mean the exam period, you know, the time period. But this is not a sentence, as you can tell. I'm kind of guessing that Sakuran-san is trying to express the fact that their exam has ended. If you want to say, my exam has ended, you want to say something like, 私の試験が終わりました. You want to add ました because that is what makes it into the verb. The ました is the verb conjugation. If you want to just use the original word, the original verb without conjugating it, you can also say 試験が終わるとかね。私の試験が終わった。終わった is the more casual way, or it's not really not just casual, but it's the non-muscle form conjugated way of expressing this sentence, of saying this sentence. そうです。おガチャ、よかったです。So yeah, I know that's a lot, but that's what it is. ってことでね。So, 私の試験が終わりversus 私の試験が終わった。私の試験が終わりました。And then you can also not say 私の and it will sound also more natural because it's not common for us Japanese people to say 私 at the beginning of the sentence. We tend to just eliminate the term I in Japanese. So you can say 試験が終わりました。Repeat after me. 試験が終わりました。試験が終わりました and that will be probably the most natural way of saying my exam is ended or my exam is done. I'm finished with my exams. ということでね Good job. By the way, there's no mistakes or there's no bad way of learning vocabs. So any way is completely fine. But I do think that there's ways that will work better for some people. ということでね、破壊。Thank you so much for learning from my videos. 私の動画を使ってくださってありがとうございます。ということで、ザフランさんお疲れ様でした。Good job, ザフランさん。パチパチパチパチ拍手。クラップクラップクラップ。イェーイ。よくできました。よいしょ。では、次行こうかな。We shall move on. では、パチパチパチ。パチパチパチ。OK! カラさん、ありがとうございます。Week 3 of my participation. Thank you so much for joining. I tried gridded paper, but it looks a bit messy with the kana on top of the kanji. That's always the hard balance, but I think you're doing a great job. And good job for putting the kana on it. いや、カタカナを入れるの本当にいいことだと思います。I really think it's a great thing that you are putting katakana, not katakana, furigana on it, because this is the best way to go back to like, you know, this is one of the best ways that you can look back at your notes and learn from it. So 始まりと終わりの終わりは破壊と再生のツイートね、How do you type little 2 on the phone? My 2 on what is always the bigger one. Okay, Can I answer that question after this? Because I think a lot of people would love to know that. Let me know if I skipped it after this because I would love to explain it. 確かにちっちゃい「つ」のタイプの仕方ってわかんないですよね。ってことでね。And I'm still not sure how to write the 信用か。信用ね。信用 is a hard one. あった。そうそう、あったね。Yeah, there's a little trick on how to write it. So, はい。信用 radical. I will one day make a video and an animation so that you can tell how to write it. 信用難しいんだよな。I don't know if I will be able to show it. これで信用ありますかね。信用ないわ。選ぶと。Nah, this is all stylized. 信用ね。I'll probably respond to カラさん after this myself. ちょっとこの後カラさんね、私から信用の書き方も勝手にツイートしようかなと思います。そう。ってことで。Oh yeah, double consonants are one of the ways. ってことで、ヤニル。一体、カラさん何を見てるの？一夫多妻？一夫多妻 means polygamy. By the way, that was the norm, like, in the ancient times, though. でも、今考えたらね、一夫多妻って日本、昔はね、平安京的なね、時代は、普通でしたからね。Like, you know, thousands of years ago, Japan used to be a polygamist country. Only for loyals, like, you know, I mean, not loyals, like royal people, like the kings and stuff. But anyways, definitely not a thing anymore. It's illegal. 攻めすぎ。路線すぎ。鈍感不一致漏れる拒食症棺桶とかね。漬物のこくず。私もあんま使ったことないですわよ。大正ロマンとかね。I really like the choice of your words. いや、面白いな。ってことで、カラさんお疲れ様です。Good job. I'll explain. ってことでね。はい、カラさんお疲れ様でした。Good job, カラさん and thank you so much for your very interesting choice of words. パチパチ。はい。よくできました。投稿ありがとうございました。Thank you again for your post. では本日最後の投稿に行こうかなと思います。I think I will move on to the last one of the day, the last post of today. では次、最後、エンゼルさん、お疲れ様です。My progress. Good job. すっごいたくさんある。You wrote so much, Angel さん。めっちゃある。これはちょっと読みたいな。めっちゃ字かわいい。You have such a cute handwriting. 健康とか、いい言葉ですね。Those are really good words. いや、よくできました。Good job. If you wouldn't mind me giving you a little bit of advice, if you could start writing things in hiragana, I know when you first start, it's gonna be really hard. But once you get used to it, the speed of your learning the language is gonna be so much faster. Think of it like a game. Like, you know how in a lot of games, there's things that you can do in order to, for example, make your gear stronger, or like make yourself stronger. And those are usually the best ways to move faster in the game, if that makes sense. Like, you know, I play Stardew Valley, and then I might try to get sprinklers, because sprinklers, by using sprinklers, I won't have to be investing my everyday life in using my water can to water all my crops, and then that will probably take me hours and hours and hours of my day. But it doesn't mean that making those sprinklers are easy. It usually comes with a lot of sacrifices, like a lot of money, a lot of time. But if you make that investment in the beginning, your speed of your growth will be so much faster. And so if you wouldn't mind, I think it would be a great way to try to learn. It will be a great way for you to get faster in the speed of learning Japanese if you could start writing things in ひらがな and カタカナ。But either way, good job. でも、そうよくできました。これね、よろしければなんですけれどね。例えば、英語を学ぶときに、ローマ字とかで書かないのと同じで、日本語を勉強するときも、ひらがなとかカタカナで書き始めると、格段に学びのスピードが上がると思います。Great job! よくできました。Thank you so So, but I understand it comes with a lot of time and investing. でもね、なかなかね、新しい言語になれるとかね、そうそう。She wrote it all in Romaji. Yeah, she wrote it all in Romaji. It's pretty cool, isn't it though? I feel like Romaji can be a lot harder and time consuming in a way. So, either way, great job. でもどっちにしろね、よくできました。ということで、投稿ありがとうございました。パチパチパチパチパチ。OK ありがとうございました。Thank you so very much. Okay, so for those of you who are willing to, all the posts are going to be on. All the links to the posts will be in the comments, so feel free to go to those posts and reply saying you did a great job because, I want our space to be a very uplifting space. ってことで、お疲れ様でした。では、We are moving on to our second part. ではね、ちょっと次のパートに行こうかなと思います。第2パートです。Ask me any Japanese questions on the chat. It's a part where you can ask me any Japanese related questions on the chat. Feel free to ask even when I am explaining the previous comment questions. Thank you. Okay, I am going to I'm gonna put it on the top. Okay, hoping that this will help. では、feel free. ではね、皆様、好きなだけ投稿してください。You can ask me any questions related to anything. So, can you give an example of searching complicated words on dictionary by radicals? Ooh, that's a good one. I hope I can explain. はい。そう。では、let's start with how to write the small ひらがなつ。つ、ね。つ versus つ。How to type the small つつ on a phone. はい。ってことで、there's two ways. 2つ方法があります。There's two ways of doing this. Two ways of doing this. 2つね、方法があります。One way is the way that everybody was explaining. You double the consonants. You double the consonants. So, for example, if I wanted to say something like あった。あった means I found it, there was. In Romaji, I would type in あった。あった。I double the consonants. So, 子音を2回書きます。とか、maybe I want to say cookie. I like cookies, like chocolate chip cookies. Cookie will be the way that I would type it. But that is the keyboard, this is based on the normal English keyboard. If you are using the Japanese key, like the flipping keys, you can just type in 2 and there's a part on the bottom left that will allow you to make it smaller. It is the same place as the part that you put dakuten on the letters. But yeah, I don't know. Hope that helps. どうでしょうか? Would that help? I hope that helps. ということでね、that's how you type in つ on the phones or on the keyboard. では次行きましょう。で、ループさんですね。Can give an example of searching complicated words on dictionary by radicals. Thanks for clearing up. Okay. Glad you were able to learn this. Searching 漢字 through radicals. Okay, since I don't really have a dictionary on me, and I don't want to violate any copyright issues by posting, showing other screens here. So I'm gonna do my very best to explain it in words. 漢字を部首で検索する方法ですね。Dictionary edition. Dictionary edition. Okay. Dictionary edition. 辞書で。はい。よいしょ。Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is to figure out the stroke numbers of the radical. This is the first thing you want to do. And this is the dictionary edition. I don't know if you're going to be using a paper dictionary or an online dictionary, but the process is the same. You first want to figure out the stroke numbers of the radical. If you're using the paper dictionary, it will probably be on the very first page. The page after you flip the title page, if that makes sense. Not the title page, but the cover of the dictionary. There will be a huge chart of the radicals, and you'll be able to figure it out from there. The radicals will be shown in order of stroke numbers, and then they will give you the page number of where the kanji using that radicals will be located. So go to the page where all the kanji of the radicals are shown. Right. So this is the second thing you want to do. You want to go to the page where all the kanji of the radicals are shown in. When you are done with that, you want to figure out, it usually comes with guessing games. Figure out or guess the stroke numbers of the kanji you are looking for, and that is how you find the kanji. 待って、私またぐるぐるしてるわ。I'm ぐるぐる again. もうほんと最悪。Why does it have to ぐるぐる so much? 戻った？ Am I back? I don't even know if I'm back, so I'm gonna drink water. もう戻ったかわかんないので水飲みます。戻ったみたい。Wait, I think I'm back. Okay, I'm just gonna proceed. So again, it comes with a lot of guessing games. That's the hard part. So let me, for example, explain it. わかりやすい感じでいきますかね。It's back. よかった。普通に見れてます。よかった。よかった。Since I don't think I can just post radicals here, I don't think it works that way on this font or anything, so I'm just going to post radicals that are really simple and also often used. 木とかね、他に何かあるかな？月とかね。ねとかね。口とかの方がいいかな。弦とか。言葉のことね。Okay, so, for example, if we wanted to look up kanji using these radicals, ichi, pretty simple, isn't it? This will be the very first kanji, the radical that will be shown on the dictionary because it's only one strokes. Let me put the numbers on it. Ichi, ne? And then the next one, ki. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. And so you just have to go look for the radicals that has 4 strokes. Tsuki probably has a lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4ですね。Never mind, it's the same. 火と月一緒だった。で、口、1, 2, 3。口3ですね。1, 2, 3。よし。言葉のこと、1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7。OK。 As you can tell, I don't remember them all either. I have to like go through them one by one. So. I remember I used to look up through paperback radical dictionaries, and sometimes I would get so upset after spending an hour but not finding the right radical, I would quit, then come back the next day. It can be really hard. 結構ね、確かに難しかったりするんですけど、it'll come with practice. These has to come with practices. But yeah, so you just look at the chart and find the place where they show the radicals, and then after that, maybe I'm trying to look for this kanji. 例えば、言語の語とかね。Maybe I'm looking for the 語漢字。You know, 語 means languages. It's used a lot. Now we have to figure out how many stroke orders that this one has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, there's 14 stroke orders total. And so you want to go and look for... You want to count, and then you want to look for the kanji that has 14 stroke orders using this radical. Then. So I figured out you can do it on the websites, and then it wasn't that bad anymore. Yeah, so you don't have to fixate on using the paperback versions. You can just use websites. And to make it better, these days there's dictionary apps where you can just like try to mimic the kanji and it will show you. 最近のね、テクノロジーのいいところはあれですよ。アプリが使えること。Like, you can just download dictionary, like kanji dictionary apps, and then they will show you, if you can just try to, like, mimic the kanji that you want to look up, and then they will show it to you. So much easier that way. So much easier. Traveler Pickle さん。こんにちは。This is a Japanese lesson stream. There's this... Oh, you can look at my description, and I think I have it explained. But thank you so much for joining. そうです。ってことで、how does that sound? Does this make things a little bit easier and understandable? どうでしょう？これでもうちょっとわかりやすくなったかなと思います。いいな。But I do think looking up the kanji on dictionaries are a great way to get to know the kanji, because just learning the kanji will never help. You have to learn the kanji using the words that the kanji is used in. Like, you can just look up, like, you know, for example, this kanji, go, and then, I mean, you can just try to memorize it on its own because it won't make any sense. There's no such word as go using this kanji, and so you have to make sure that you're learning them through the words that this kanji uses. And so in that sense, I think using the dictionaries is always the great way, because they will show you what words they're used, what words are there that uses the kanji, and you'll be able to also understand the meaning of it. そうです。ってことで、いいでしょうか？ループさん、ありがとうございました。Thank you, ループさん。I hope this makes sense. では、次行こうかな。ハッキーさん、not a question, but just a suggestion. Maybe Sensei can do a challenge where we send our hiragana/kanji writing and Sensei can correct it. Not sure if anyone needs it. I think that's a great way for me to do it too. I think I just need to invest in a way that I can plug my iPad to the computer. iPad とコンピューターってどうやったらつなげるんだろう？ How do I plug my iPad into the computer and show the screen? あれか。Do I need one of those devices that other streamers use? 他の人が使ってるやつやんなきゃいけないのかな。まあ。Yeah. Anyways, I will definitely look into it because I think it's a cool idea. ありがとうございます。では、次、Angel さんですね。Thank you, Angel さん for your question. Since it's Duolingo good for beginner for learning Nihongo, I'm doing that. That's a good question. I hope Duolingo doesn't come after me. Duolingo. No. Sorry. But though, I think the app honestly has a lot of potential, but when it comes to learning Japanese, I honestly don't think that I can just go around and say that it's a great way. So, as someone with an 1,100 day streak in Japanese Duolingo, I don't believe so. I just use it to keep myself from getting rusty, but it's not a perfect solution. I think that's a great way. I shouldn't really say anything like, this is not the great way. I think you can use it as one of the tools, but I wouldn't recommend it for you to use only Duolingo to try to learn things.And I'll also explain why. なんでかもちゃんと説明します。なんか声音のケーブルあったよね。それ配信とかそれでよくやってる人もいるし。そうなんですか。それだったら簡単にできそう。ソシャゲもできそう。For iPad, it's probably cheaper to write and send the picture with AirDrop or something. Cheap Wacom is probably more common. Maybe. But then Windows computers doesn't have AirDrop, which is the worst. Windows AirDrop ないから。まあそう。You need a video capture card. Oh, that's what it is. キャプチャーボードだ。キャプチャーボードがいるんだ。そうだった。キャプチャーボード。そうだ。It's like 10,000 yen. 1万円くらいするんだ。なんかみんな使ってるやつ。The thing that everybody uses, I think, is a little bit over 10,000 yen. そうそう。はい。ずんだもちさんこんばんは。今ね、皆さんと一緒に日本語勉強してますよ。はい。ってことで。Okay, let's go back to Duolingo. ちょっと Duolingo の話に戻りましょう。I think Duolingo is probably one of the greatest apps when you are learning a Western language. Duolingo ね、多分、ざっくり言うと西洋圏とかの英語であったりヨーロッパ圏であったりねの言語を学ぶのであれば最高のデバイスなんじゃないかなと思います。The reason why I don't recommend Duolingo is because it doesn't mean that they will share with you the grammar points. The reason why I say it might be better for Western languages is because a lot of Western languages already shares a lot of similarities, while a lot of you here are not, a lot of you here are not Japanese, which makes it so much harder because Japanese is such a different language. If it was something like, you are a Mandarin speaker and you're trying to learn Cantonese, for example, it will be so much easier. Just say that you're a Korean person trying to learn Japanese, then it will probably be a lot easier because a lot of our grammar points are the same. We have same things like honorifics. We also share a lot of languages because our origin is the Chinese language that was brought to us thousands of years ago. But for a lot of you who are not too familiar with this language, and again, Japanese doesn't share much similarities between many other languages, even like between Korean and Chinese, like there's so many differences. Linguistically speaking, either, we can't really say that Japanese is close to any other languages because of it. And Duolingo, they will teach you hiragana and katakana, right? As far as I know. And then they will just start bombarding you with sentences. But you don't even know how to make sentences in Japanese. And then if you keep on doing that, all you are going to learn is that you're going to be learning those very interesting example sentences that Duolingo is going to provide you with. And that's not really bad either. Again, if you're just using as one of the tools to learn the language. But if that is what you are learning every day, and if that's the only source, you're never going to be able to learn the grammar, the correct grammar. And I've also seen Duolingo being used, and I can assure you some of the grammar is also not correct. And what's the worst way to learn a language? To keep on learning the wrong way and believing that that's the right way and keeping on with it, because in the long run it's going to be so much harder for you to correct that. And so even though it might sound like it's a long ways to go, I would personally recommend people to just go through the basics first. Go through hiragana, go through katakana, memorize as many of the basic vocabulary, and then you can maybe use Duolingo to build up your vocabulary pool. And then I think that might be a really good way to learn it. ってことでね。So, okay, question is, Vtuber or the Tobira beginning Japanese textbook a good main source to learn Japanese? Sorry, I wish I could answer that, but I have no idea what those are. ごめんなさい. Sorry. そうですね。そう。 Okay, for live writing like on a stream, a drawing tablet could do, but it's separate from the iPad. Yeah, I don't think I want to invest in any other stuff. If I get a capture board, I can also play like Nintendo Switch too, right? So I think that will be a better investment for me. For live writing like on stream, a drawing tablet could... Oh, never mind, sorry, I just read that. Duolingo and most other apps don't actually teach you how the language works. They just quiz you on the simple things and hope you can figure it out. Yes, yes, 天毛さんそうです。そう、Duolingo とかいろんな言語学習アプリって文法とかを教えてくれるわけじゃないんですよ。ただ、これ例文ね。はい、どうぞ、みたいな。そうなんですよ。That's exactly how it works. That's perfect. そうそう。And yeah. And so I'm not saying that Duolingo is doomed or anything. だから Duolingo が悪いっていうよりも言語に違いがありすぎる。I think the problem is that our languages are just so different. It's just too different to just rely on an app. Like this is exactly why I say too, like, I don't want you to only try to learn from me. There's so many other content creators out there, and I don't want you to just feel like I can provide you with everything, because everybody teaches in a different way. Everybody explains in a different way. And so I just want you to go around, have fun, and use all of the tools that you have, and not just get fixated on just one tool. そう、これ私もね、いつも言う、そこまで言ってないかもなんですけど、言語を学ぶにあたって、なんか私だけにから学んでほしくないんですよね。もうこの時代ですから他にも言語を教えてる人なんて死ぬほどいるし、特に英語なんてそれこそ死ぬほどいるし、だから私をなんかいろんなツールの中の一つだけとして捉えてほしいんですよ。教科書があって参考書があって、なんか他の Vtuber さんたちで映画があって、あ、そういえば水木もいるわみたいなね。そんくらいの捉え方をしてほしいなって思ってます。はい。Yeah, the grammar and phrases seldom line up compared to learning English as a Spanish speaker. I think that's exactly what it is. Like, you know, a lot of European languages has very similar origins, and so it just makes it so much easier. And so that's the reason why Duolingo can be good for those languages. Like, because I already understand English, I feel like if I tried out Spanish on Duolingo, alongside with other language learning ways and tools, I think it will give me a really good solution. But I probably won't just be looking at Duolingo for that. So yeah, I remember one sentence that ended with と思わない, and I just couldn't believe what I was saying. と思わない? I mean, と思わない just sounds perfectly fine.そうですね。扉 textbooks as apps can only give out that much info on a screen page. Oh, so is that a pretty commonly used app? I have the physical textbook for the Tobira as a gift, but I'm not sure if it's a good learning source. I think there's nothing such as a really bad learning source. The only problem with Duolingo, I think, is that a lot of people believe that this will teach you everything. So, you know, obviously when you have physical textbooks, the input will be so much easier. But then this is the biggest problem when it comes to trying to study on ourselves, right? Like, I can teach you like this, but does that mean that I can talk to you and evaluate your speech? I can't, because I'm a VTuber and you're just my viewers. And things like this will never ever change. The biggest thing that you want to get when you're learning a language is correct evaluation. Another reason why I think the internet is a really hard place to do that, because there's a lot of people who has tried to study Japanese on their own who will give you incorrect information. And so that's why, if possible, I want you to come to me, and then I will try to answer as many questions that you have. I want you to practice sentences. Like, if you have a textbook, input will be so much easier because you have that source. But then I want you to make sure that you are actually doing output and also getting good feedback from it. Like, yeah. So here is decent as structured start. I'm talking with a lot of learners and people have had success with it, but there's better. I think not just better, but I think there's just more options. かな。I still have my 2 textbooks from my college Japanese classes. Never mind my playlist full of Japanese music that I need to listen to again someday. Japanese music can be great, a great source of learning. It doesn't mean that you can learn sentences, but it's a great way to learn vocabulary. My beginning source were みんなの日本語 textbook and an educational video course made in the 80s that I found on YouTube. Oh yeah, those really old ones, huh? This is also one of the things I want you to remember. あとね、皆様に覚えておいてほしいこと。待って。Language evolves. はい。Remember that. 覚えといて。言語は進化するんです。Again, this is definitely something I would love all of us to remember well. そう、言語は進化するってのを覚えといてほしい。This is honestly one of the hardest parts too. なんか日本語でも例えばね、ら抜き言葉は良くないって言われてたのが結構当たり前になってきたり、なんか、させていただきますって正しい敬語じゃないけど、みたいなね。Like, even in Japanese, we used to have this concept, or still have this concept called ら抜き言葉。Like 食べられます、行かれます。For those of you who know, it means like I am able to, or you know, it's an I am able to do form. A lot of people started using this without tara, and then a lot of people were frantic about it, and they were like those youngsters. But then, you know, after multiple decades, this is getting more of a normal thing. And there's also this really weird keigo called させていただきます. A lot of linguists talk about it, and it's what we call a double keigo, which させていただきますって二重敬語ですよね、確かね。So it means that you are overly being polite, and that was considered a bad manner. But then させていただきます because of how nice it sounds, everyone's using it these days, and I feel like it's starting to become the norm. そう、二重敬語、そうそう、二重敬語。流行語大賞とか見るとなおさらそう思うよね。いや、ほんとね。インターネットスラングとかもどんどん主流になってきてますからね。だって草って口頭で言う日が来るとは思わなかったですもん。Like, even in English, you can tell that there's so many new words, slangs that comes up every single year, and some of them stays, right? Like, think about the word tweet. I think tweeting is such a really good example. Even though Elon Musk has decided to get rid of it, the term tweet is added on the English dictionary to describe posting on Twitter. That was a huge involvement in English, like in the English language. And so if you learn something from an old source, like from the 80s, it might not sound like the actual casual way that people talk. My own grandmother doesn't talk the way I do, not just because of her dialect or anything. It's because the terms that she uses, the way that she talks is, I can't really put a finger on what it is, but it's extremely different. So Yep. If you're starting from zero, the greatest success I've observed, not for everyone, Genki 1 and 2 textbooks. And if you do well with structure and use YouTube like Sensei's channel, in my opinion, thank you. So I was about to say that, right? Language evolves. So 言語は変わるんです。So it even has its own word. Yes, it even has its own word. So させていただきますとかね、ござそうか。そうさせていただきますってね。でも私も使えますもん。Like, even when I know that させていただきます is not the correct grammar, I still use it. Because it just sounds so nice. Like, a lot of people are like that. We all know that it's not the correct grammar, but we still use it. 二重敬語ってね、させていただきますって良くないって分かっててもみんな使えますじゃないですか。プロの方でも使うじゃないですか、現場でもね。だから悪いことでないと思うんですよね。I have a basics handbook back then, but that's the only background I have before coming here, so I can only understand basic phrases. Hey, you have a basic phrases in your like pool, and that's already great. So, yeah, the bet are slang that I only know because I'm exposed to Zoomers. Like no cap. I know no cap. What the heck is bet? 三重敬語の場合もあるって、本当に三重敬語もあんの？ 30敬語まで行っちゃったら困りますよね。みたいな、そこまですんのみたいなね。そうですね。But yeah, it's something that I can talk about forever. いや、このトピック永遠に話せるな。そう。The way people use not to turn things into objects like verb and slang words is pretty common too. Like, verb to slang, 走るなとかそういうことそう。難しいですよね。And so that's why I do think that still speaking to the basics are a good idea. But allegedly is an affirmation. You want to learn Japanese, but oh, I see. Okay. Those are so hard. そう。某はそれがしです。某は極力使わないようにしてるけど、基本相手に合わせて喋らせていただいております。喋らせていただいている。日本語難しい。敬語って難しい。敬語 is so hard. 問題な日本語 meaning is well I understand but the usage. Oh, I see. Oh yes, なとか適とかね。I think I see a lot of this. なの適 These are very commonly misunderstood terms in Japanese. それがしで合ってるよかった。それがしで合ってたそれがしよかった。もうちゃんと漢字が読める漢字で5しただけあるな。そうな I think a lot of people like use now even for e adjectives. I think a lot of people use no even for e adjectives. And teki, I think I see this a lot being used by Chinese speakers. Because I know that this is the same idea for the Chinese, probably Mandarin and Cantonese is the same way. The Chinese term no, like you know. But yeah, I think these are really confusing. これ難しいやつ。そうですね。問題のですね。問題があるかな。問題がある日本語かな。So, oh, by the way, I am trying to make a video explaining adjectives, the difference between e adjectives and not adjectives, and it will probably and hopefully come up by the end of this week. 関係ないんですけれども、今ね、な形容詞とい形容詞の違いの動画を出そうとしてて、久しぶりの文法動画ですね。It's gonna be one of my first grammar videos in like months. When was the last time I posted a grammar video? 最後に私が文法動画出したのいつ？ When was it? It was 7 months ago! やば！ 7ヶ月前って書いてある。No way! Gosh, no wonder people don't watch me anymore. いやー、視聴者さん離れるのもわかるわ。7ヶ月文法動画出してないの？Oh no, never mind. It was 5 months ago. Well, still. 違う、5ヶ月前でした。それでもね、それでも良くないわ。Oh well, oh well. Well, if any of you are interested in getting into Japanese grammar, this is a playlist for you. I at least have 4 grammar videos. 日本語の文法わからないって方はね、これ見てください。このプレイリスト見てください。But I think I'm doing really well. I post videos in order. Like, you can just start from the beginning of the playlist, and then you move up to things that you'll be able to understand if you have the knowledge from previous videos. I think I'm good that way, so. ちゃんとね、順番にはやってるんでね。どうぞ。So, learn a bit more from game streams. 朝焼け, for example. True.Yeah, you can still learn from my game streams. そう。私のゲーム配信からもね、新しい単語を学べますよ。そう。あ、こんばんはです。高評価ポチッとフクロウさん参照。うわ、ありがとうございます。福丸さん came just to like my stream. Thank you. ありがたいです。ということで、なの適ね。な is for な adjectives. なはな形容詞のためです。な形容詞の後につきます。な only comes after な adjectives. No will not be used after adjectives. はい。No は形容詞の後には使われません。just remember these. And teki is not used in Japanese as they are used in the Chinese languages. はい。敵は中国語の使い方とは違います。はい。ということでね。Just keep those in mind. はい。One of the first things I learned from the handbook, a bit of Google, plus a bit of Google, was that 90% of the way they talk in anime is actually rude, unless you're talking to someone you're really close to. Yes! Thank you for bringing it up. そうです。アニメのキャラクターは基本的に失礼な話し方をします。I think I kind of made a few people mad tweeting this, because I get it. Like, you know when I went viral? なんか数ヶ月前にね、なぜか突然ツイッターで爆伸びした時の話ね。I think I got overwhelmed a little bit, because it's nobody's fault. でも誰のせいでもないの。それを覚えててほしい。And I know that nobody had ill intentions. I just want all of you to know it. But yeah. But I got a lot of comments in Japanese, and I could tell that they were probably from people who weren't Japanese, but I got so many of them, I got a little bit overwhelmed because I felt like people were being rude to me. And I know that it's not, but then it's just an overwhelming feeling. So for example, I hope that this doesn't scare anybody off. I really hope it doesn't, but when I am speaking in Japanese, just say that there's somebody, a fellow VTuber for example, talks to me straight out, like without getting to know each other, comes to me without using keigo, I usually block them. これね、って思われそうなんですけど、私基本的に、初対面で、視聴者様とは違う。初対面で、例えば、Vtuber さんとかで、タメ語で来られる方は基本的にブロック対象なんですよね。It's a little bit different when I know that that's just their character and their personality, and like they're just doing it for the purpose of keeping their roleplay. But keigo is just a huge part of our culture. Like, I have been thinking about it, and it might also be because I'm a female, and a lot of older people sometimes talk to younger people in the casual way just because they don't have respect for them, or sometimes people talk to me in a casual way, maybe because I'm a girl, and so maybe I am being a little bit more sensitive than I should. But when you think about anime characters, most of them, especially like those shonen anime protagonists, none of them really use keigo to speak, right? And that's just their personality. They're supposed to be more straightforward. They're supposed to be, because usually those anime, the storyline is made for younger boys, like in elementary school, and that's the way kids talk to their friends. And so that's the reason why those like characters, they don't talk in keigo. But if you use that in real life, it can come off a little bit more harsh than you think. But yeah. But yes, that's the reason why I really don't want people to learn from anime or just from anime. I think it's great for people to learn words from anime and ways of expression and certain phrases and idioms, but I definitely do not want people to just learn the way of speech from anime, because yeah, it can sound extremely rude, and I don't want it to sound like I don't want people to get scared about talking to Japanese people. Like, normally it's totally fine. I think it was just that it was VTubers that was commenting and coming to me and asking questions and stuff, and to me, and I think this is another different difference between cultures, even in the VTubing community. Like, a lot of us Japanese VTubers talk to each other as if we're in a business setting, because that's just the way things go. And I know that it's a lot more casual outside of Japan, and so again, I know there's a huge cultural difference, but yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. はい、以上です。So, another learner actually got upset at me when I asked them if they could use a bit more keigo when we were chatting in Japanese for practice, and I was thinking, you need to learn this anyway. I guess, but I think it also has to do with where your goal is at. Like, if you are just learning Japanese to watch Japanese anime in Japanese without subtitles, there's no need for you to learn keigo, really. But if your goal is to have a conversation with people who are Japanese, and more of just say that you have a plan of traveling to Japan or moving to Japan for business even, or just going to school, for example, and then I think it's good to understand that keigo is such a big part of our culture. There's such a few percentage of people in my life that I would talk in keigo to. I mean, in casual language to. It will probably be just like 20 people or something. Like, even my VTuber friends who are Japanese, I talk to them in keigo. It doesn't mean that I'm not being friendly. We're good friends. But yeah. So, anime is a double-edged sword. It is a double-edged sword. It's such a great way of learning because it's so fun. But, yep. So this TED Talk. Yep, this is my TED Talk. So this. Do people not really end their sentence in だってばよ like Naruto? だってばよYou wish だってばよって終わればいいんですけどね。そういうわけにはいかないです。Yep. So, I guess beware of anime. No, not to use anime, or not to use only anime. Only anime to learn Japanese. はい。です。あ、ステークミディアムレアさん、Hello! こんにちは。Thank you so much for joining. そうですね。Oh yeah. Well, speaking of which, next Monday, I'll be taking a day off from work and I'll be having a collab with an English-speaking VTuber and we're gonna be literally just talking about differences in the Japanese VTubing culture and the English VTubing culture. So, if you're interested, come join. そう、実はですね、このトピックの続きでなんですけど、来週の月曜日ですね。まあ、つまり、it'll be Sunday for a lot of you, and so hopefully it'll be easier. It will most likely be Sunday night for a lot of you. For me, it'll be Monday. It might be Monday morning. I don't know for some of you. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'll be holding a collab. I already said that in English. そう。英語の、もうすでにコラボ一度させていただいてる方とね、英語圏の VTuber と日本語圏の VTuber の文化の違いとか、捉え方の違いについてお話をね、しようと思ってます。ちょっと面白いトピックかなって思うので、よろしければどうぞ。So I'm too casual for my own good. なきゃかもない。And being casual is okay. Being casual is okay. But I think it also depends on who you're talking to. Like, I wouldn't be mad at... it's not like I would be mad, but I wouldn't be mad for you as a viewer to just come to me and talk to me in casual language. And I... Also because I know... Oh, my pens! Also because I know that you're still in your learning stage. It's just that, for example, when people talk about collabs in Japan, like even in the VTuber community, people still use keigo, and then, yeah, that's kind of like, it's almost like a social manner. Like, a lot of people, yeah. Like people, for example, when I ask people out for collabs, I write this very lengthy private message in like business Japanese. I would use all the good mannered lingo in it, and then they'll respond the same way, or it's vice versa too. When I ever receive collab invites, people would come to me with like very business mannered way. And then, and I think that's another really different thing. Like usually in Japan, collabs are something that is planned for, even a month ahead, something like a month ahead. But then I realized in the English speaking community, it's so much easier. I think there's good sides in both, and so I hope that we get to learn the good from both sides and learn from it. But so I think the are type of casual is bad, right? Would you mind elaborating on the are type? Are type? Are. Oh, also for those of you who just joined, hi, thank you for joining. Feel free to ask any questions about Japanese. It can be the language, if you want. It can be about culture. It can be about certain words that you don't know how to use. It can be grammar points. Feel free to post on the chat. Tenego should be simple enough. If you're learning the language and insists on using casual talk, there's something wrong. Oh, Tenego, yes. Tenego is perfect enough. Tenego isn't as hard as you think. You can just watch my desumasu videos, and that will just sum up Tenego for you. It's not difficult at all. So just use Tenego when you're going around. Hi. Ramen-san, ありがとうございます. Thank you for your comment. Is there any tips for memorizing kanji? Ooh, that's a good question. Memorizing kanji の覚え方ですね。where did it go? これかな? Okay, it's this one. 漢字の覚え方 Memorizing kanji. I will make a video one day on this topic. いつかこれのね、動画作ろうと思います。Oh wait, 俺。okay. 俺ね。I will explain about that after this. Well, if you're interested, あるかな？ミムさんとのやつだ。あった。If you'd like to learn, there's this Japanese collab stream that I did where I explain about learning kanji. That's more in depth, but I'll still explain it now. But yeah, that's the link. Okay, let's talk about memorizing kanji. The biggest thing you have to know is that there's two ways of memorizing kanji: the Japanese kid way and the learning Japanese as a second language kind of a way. Okay. Hi. Let's talk about these differences. 漢字の覚え方ね。お話ししましょう。One thing I realized is that the way we learn kanji as Japanese is extremely different as a way that a lot of people who are learning Japanese as a second language or a foreign language learn. Like, the ways are so very different. There's a really obvious reason why. Japanese was never really that popular of a language until pretty recently, I feel like. So, next, help a lot with kanji. I can identify koto because it kind of looks like a big T with letters O and E behind it. Oh, that might be a good way to look at it. Yeah. But most of the people who used to learn Japanese, purposefully, not by being forced to, was because that a lot of them wanted to work in Japan or live in Japan. That was the reason why. It was not anime. It wasn't like manga and anime made people want to learn Japanese. This is more of a modern thing. And so, for example, JLPT or many other Japanese learning sources, Japanese textbooks, what they will teach you is the way for you to come to Japan and make it easier for you to adapt to the community and the culture and the language faster. which means that learning Japanese as a second language or a foreign language kind of a way will focus on kanji, will teach you kanji that is more commonly used in everyday life. But the Japanese kid way is extremely different. How we learn kanji as kids in Japan is that we start from easy kanji. It is that simple. It's really different. And let me explain to you what the differences are. And let me know if you have any questions or comments regarding this. When people learn kanji as a foreign language, so learning typo, where, 待って、どこ？あ、本当だ。Thank you. learning. はい。そう。Is that typo on memorizing kanji? I probably have a lot of typos. Memorizing. 待って。I'm really bad at English spelling, by the way. Memorizing. Wait, let me just copy paste it so that I can memorize thing, right? Okay. はい。そう。あ、ジョータンさん。はーい。こんにちは。そう。I hope you're not in work. I hope you're not at work anymore. So I think what's harder when learning any language as a second language is that you're comparing it to the language you already know. Yes, that's definitely what makes it harder. 関係ないけど今日の BGM すごく好きです。でしょ？ I like my background music too. So can't wait. What? もう本当だ。もう I'm doomed. 漢字ね。全然ダメ。そう。No, I'm resting at home. It's nighttime. よかった。I'm glad. Okay, I hope there's not any more typos. そうですね。Okay, so let's talk about the way that a lot of textbooks would cover. So, Ashuk san kana? Sorry, let me know how I can pronounce your name right. Is Keigo taught in school? I feel that in the West you'd only really learn business writing if you need it for your work. Oh, that's a good question. Keigo is taught in school, and Keigo in English is called honorifics, and the idea of honorifics only is exists in very few languages like Japanese and Korean, because honorifics literally changes verb conjugations, and that just doesn't happen in other languages. And so it is taught in school, and that is the way that we are taught to talk to our teachers from a young age, and so it makes it a lot easier for us. So if Sensei spells kanji as knaji, it will be knaji from today. はい、漢字じゃなくてknaji です。Okay, but yes. So for example, the kanji that you will see in Japanese learning textbooks might be kanji like, let me think. Maybe there will be kanji like this one. Hi. Does anybody know how to read this kanji? この漢字の読み方知ってる人? It's on the bottom. 最後に書きました。It's on the bottom. So, language evolves after all. Yes, language evolves, and I'm the one who makes the evolution. I'm the Darwin. 列車. Ah! So close! This is not 列車. This is 電車. So, 電車です. 列車 has a different kanji. 列車. 列車はこれですね. So, that's 列車. I just put it on the chat. 電車. For people who are learning language as a foreign language, words like this, kanjis like this will be something that you will first encounter. The reason why you'll need to know this in order to survive in Japan, right? 電気とかの電。そうです。But let's count how many strokes each of the kanjis have. ちょっと漢字の、 何かかるかな。電は1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13。OK 。Den itself has 13 strokes if I'm not wrong. That's right, right? ジョーさん。ジョーさん助けて。台湾人の方助けて。Den has 13 strokes, right? で、車ね、車 has 1、2、3、4、5、6、7。車 has 7 strokes. Are my fellow kanji speakers? Let me know if I'm wrong. はい、漢字わかる方、皆様間違えてたら教えてほしい。なんですけど、13 strokes? 7 strokes? That is crazy! That's a lot! Yes, yes, 7. よかった。Thank you. In Japan, the very first kanji that we learned in elementary school. 日本で生き残るためには必要。そう、日本で生き残るための漢字ですからね。The first kanji that anybody would learn in the Japanese elementary schools is this kanji. I'll put it after 電車。もう電車の後に書くわ。This. 1. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know this kanji, right? So, how many too many? With just 10 strokes you can write train in English. True. Hi, Iron Tree-san, hi, thank you so much for your comment. I have moved to Japan for 8 months and passed JLPT N2, but my Japanese oral ability is still so bad. Without subtitles, I can't even understand what the TV show / Japanese VTubers are talking about. Any advice? Oh, good job for passing N2. I think that's the biggest struggle when it comes to language step tests, isn't it? Because you'll get really good base of the language, and I'm pretty sure your grammar is pretty awesome. I think it'll be easier for you to read and understand, and listen maybe will come later. My suggestion is to try to do shadowing a lot more. Shadowing will help a lot. You just need to get your ears get used to your hearing ability to get used to the common speed of the language. And so, I think you're on the right track. Let me come back to that comment later. So, でね。ということで、watch more メイドちゃん。So, watch me more. 私を見てってね。Okay, so anyways, 1. How many strokes does the kanji 1 have? I want, just put it on the chat. はい。チャット欄に書いて1って何書く？ How many strokes does the 1 kanji have? 何書くですか？ 1. Exactly. It's just 1. Do you see how different it is? It's so much easier. It is so much easier. And so, in Japanese elementary school, 1 stroke, so 1 stroke です。In Japanese elementary school, we start from these very simple kanji. Not just that, but we maybe will learn kanji like this. 口とかね。口 1. 口 has how many strokes? They will have 3. We might also learn kanji like 雨。雨とかね。雨 definitely has a little bit more strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. はい。There's 8 strokes. Oops. That went a lot bigger than I thought. ちょっと待って。Let me adjust. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, like 1, 口, ame, these are the kanji that Japanese kids will learn in elementary school. First grade. The biggest reasons why we start from those simple kanji is because all the kanji here, like 1, 口, ame, they're all included in other kanji. So we start by learning the simple kanji that can also be used as radicals of other kanji. If you look at the densha's den kanji, do you see that the top part is the same as the ame kanji? Ame means rain, by the way, for those of you who wanted to know. And then if you look at the kuruma, the densha sha kanji, kuruma means car, you can see that it's a combination of other kanjis like ichi and kuchi, or some shapes that you already know. That's a lot more familiar to you. And so, when you think about that, the Japanese kid kind of a way is definitely a bottom-up kind of a way of learning the language, because we just have that time. We have the luxury of the time. And even though, yes, in elementary school, we learn over 1,000 kanji in the course of 6 years, this is why it gets so much easier for us. We start by those simple kanji, and then when we move on to more complicated kanji, we're just combining the radicals or the parts that we already know from previous years or previous experiences of learning kanji. And on the other hand, for a lot of you, you're learning Japanese through Japanese textbooks that are geared to teach people who are most likely wanting to live and work in Japan, which makes it so much more difficult, because those people who want to work in Japan, they need to learn the language in a more fast way. They need to learn the language that is more useful, you know? Useful doesn't always mean you're going to learn the language like grammar first. You're not going to start from the foundation first because you need that speed. And so I want you to look maybe a little bit more into the Japanese kid kind of a way. I will promise make content about learning kanji in the future, but that's the best way I can explain it. ですね。そう。かなI hope that helps, and I hope this explains a little bit about the process of learning 漢字。漢字ね、漢字の覚え方、これでもうちょっと分かったなと思う人がいたら嬉しいです。そう。True. Pretty sure if you are from like Taiwan, Hong Kong, mainland China, I'm pretty sure things are very similar to you. So I relatively seldomly used, but small kanji I learned early too, like otsu or kata. Yes, those small kanji. Yup. You will see them as a part of other kanji too, so. Hi. Yes, teacher, yokatta. Thank you for the explanation. Yokatta. Thank you so much for asking. Dewa, let's go back to Iron Tree San's comment. Iron Tree San, ありがとうございます. Okay, so how to be good at get better. How to get better at conversation. Conversation. Listening / speaking. Okay, let's talk about listening / speaking. はい。では、これ日本語だけでもなくてね、どの言語にも言えることですけど、This is definitely something that can be said in any languages. But, okay. Let me read your comment again. Sorry. もう一回ちょっとコメント読ませてください。I have moved to Japan for 8 months and passed JLPT N2, but my Japanese oral ability is still so bad. Without subtitles, I can't even understand what the TV show / Japanese VTubers are talking about. ってことで。Okay. Amagi-san, ありがとうございます。Amagi-san says, speaking for myself, when I hit around 900 hours of listening, that's when I had major breakthrough in listening to anything. Ooh, that's a good advice. Yep, I have no problem reading Japanese. Speaking and listening are the biggest problem. Okay, no worries. I think a lot of people run into this problem. Like, everybody runs into it. It's not just you, so it's okay. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you're not succeeding. You're definitely growing. And you just need a little bit of an advice and a hint of how you can work on the skills. So let's talk about listening first. ちょっとリスニングのお話からしようかな。How many of you like rap? How many of you like rap music? Say yes in the chat. If you do. ラップ好きな人。Can I rap? I absolutely cannot. Rap. R-A-P, like rap music, not rat. I'm pretty sure nobody really likes rats. Rap is nice, cool. Okay. Yay! A lot of you like rap. ラップ好き結構いるよかった。Okay, I want you to think back about the first time you've ever been exposed to rap music. Was it easy for you to identify all the lyrics to it even when you're listening to it in your own language? ラップ好き、ラップ。 ラップ初めて聞いたことあるか、ラップ初めて聞いた時のこと思い出してほしいんですけど、早すぎて分かんなかったことない？ Wasn't it kind of hard to identify the words because some of them are really, really fast? Not really at the first time. I grew up on rap and I don't like modern rap. JP rap is good. Oh, okay. That's cool. But yeah. So only when the lyrics were looked up. Yes, you had to look up the lyrics, right? Exactly. そう、ベロどうなってんだって思った。確かに。なんであんな口回るのって思いますよね。But then I want you to think about when you maybe found your favorite song and you kept on listening to it. Wouldn't it, like, didn't you start to understand the lyrics and didn't you start to even be able to sing it? そう。確かに初めて聞いた時は言葉は早すぎたでしょ？ And for a lot of you, that is in your first language. So, yes, I understood more when I listened to it repeatedly. I think that is the solution to language as well. そうです。The only reason why you got used to is because you listened to it over and over and over and again and again and again, right? And you looked up the lyrics, you wanted to try it out, you tried to sing along to it, and that is exactly what you did. You have to do the same with languages too. It's that simple in a way. A lot of people talk about getting your ears used to listening, and that is exactly what you need to do. When people talk to babies, they don't talk in the pace of rap, like they don't talk in a fast way. The reason why is because babies are still developing their hearing. When people talk to animals, like dogs are really clever, right? I'm clever, I'm a dog, I'm smart. But when people talk to dogs who are 100% dog, not only 50% like I am, they speak in a slow manner, right? The reason why is because we know that babies, animals, their ability to be able to understand phrases are not like ours. So yeah. So this is so true, right? And so, if you think about your evolution as a human being, even in your native tongue, your parents when you were a baby, people around you, your elementary school teachers, they never, ever talked to you in a very fast speed. So it's totally normal when you encounter a new language and you feel like the new language is fast. It's just that you're not used to it yet. But the more you expose yourself to the language, the easier it will become. And then let's go back to the rap analogy. The reason why you got so much faster, or the reason why you got so much better in listening to rap music is simply because you listened to it over and over and over again and again and again to the same phrases. And not just that you tried to sing along to it. 日本語耳を育てよう。そう、日本語耳を育てましょう。そうです。And that is what shadowing is. I know I keep on saying I'll make a video on everything. I just don't have enough time for it, but shadowing is a way of practicing the language just the way that you would practice singing a song. Next year, my goal is to start producing more content for shadowing, but what you can do is that you can look up Japanese shadowing or Japanese podcast with subtitles. You will hear things and you have the subtitles. What you have to do is that you have to try to say things in the exact same speed at the exact same time as the person who's speaking, just like you do when you practice singing. You don't pause after one single phrase, you just go for it, right? The more you do it, the better you'll become. And that is when the speaking jumps in. You just have to make your voice, or you have to train yourself to get used to the speed, and you have to get used to how words are connected verbally. Because especially if you already know grammar perfectly in a writing form, it's going to be a lot easier for you to memorize, so to say, sentences, right? Try to just memorize things in chunks. Don't just memorize words on its own. Memorize sentences. That's the best way to learn. So that happened to me with a certain streamer because I've been watching for 2+ years despite knowing Japanese. That's awesome. いいアナロジーですね。ありがとうございます。Like, I know how some people feel about Harry Potter, but that's what it was for me with Harry Potter. like when I was like, because I was so obsessed with Harry Potter, especially when the third movie came out. I don't know, I think that was my peak of loving Harry Potter. I got the DVD. I'm the DVD, you know. I'm not that young, I'm not that old. But I got the Harry Potter DVD. What I did was that every single day I came back from school, elementary school, and I would pop the Harry Potter DVD in, and I would put the English subtitles on, and I would watch it over and over again and again and again. What did I do? I just like said all the terms and phrases together with the characters. Got to the point that I memorized every single line from the movie. And I think that was my turning point in the English language. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to study. I was doing it because I loved it so much. But then, in my head, you know, I already had those sentence structures and ways of people using phrases and terms, like, fully embedded in my mind. And then, like, I was doing shadowing for hours every single day without noticing. And so, that might be something that you can work on too. Who knows? Hey, I did that with anime, which was a bad idea. But I did pick up some common words at least. I think that's a great way. But yeah, just don't do shadowing with anime for those of you who are just learning about shadowing. Do it with like real people stuff. So, one tip is to think of learning to speak new language as learning to sing a new song. Yes, learn like you're trying to learn how to sing a new song. So, Harry, did you put your name in the goblet? That's Dumbledore. He goes like, "Rrr." So this. But that's the fourth movie. Most of my English teachers were also heavily into Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a good source. So, Dumbledore said calmly. Only in the books, not in the movies. So, great advice. But yeah, anyways. That's the talk on how to try to learn to speak better. But yeah. Thank you for asking. I hope that helps, and I hope that was good advice and not me trying to just do another TED Talk. So, Harry, did you put your name in there? Well, I wonder, is there a show that you would recommend for shadowing proper grammar? I mentioned Shinya Shokudo in the previous stream, but that's a hard one. Shinya Shokudo is still not really like normal people speaking. So maybe I would say like school, like gakuen mono, real life stuff, maybe. Oh, do it with Terrace House. I know a lot of people are obsessed with Terrace House. Terrace House でシャドウイングすればいいですわよ. So thank you so much for the advice, and thank you for encouraging me. Too, of course. Well, I hope you were encouraged, and you can do it. You can even really do it with VTubers, since VTubers, even though a lot of us are, you know, well, not a lot, but like all of us are two-dimensional, we don't talk like the way anime kids do. And so, you know, try to shadow VTubers, and I think it's totally gonna be worth it. So, you can just say no again. Okay, no then. Yeah, slice of life. Yes, slice of life. That's the term in English, not 日常系. So. Slice of life stuff. In real life, not anime ones though. So, I mean, some anime ones are okay if it's like more modern stuff. Oh, Skip to Loafa had really like normal way of people speaking. It's still exaggerated, but it's not bad. I learned Japanese by commenting or laughing in Japanese language while watching Japanese streams like, haha, nani kore? 面白いな。はい。そう。テラスハウス退屈。テラスハウス、私見たことない。I've never watched テラスハウス。でも、テラハイと思うよ。はい。Most of anime has like the ikemen voice, right? Not all of them. Not all of them. はい。But そうですね。なんだろう。You have to choose ones with like really natural acting. And a lot of actors and actresses might not have that, and so that's the hard part. There's stuff that I like, but I don't think there's something that I can easily recommend. 私の好きな映画とかね、私そんな簡単におすすめできないんでね、冷たい熱帯魚とかね。そうそう。鉄木かなってなんかかっこいい飯、確かに。Dio, watch my stand power. Dio! タララタララ、ジョジョね。Vtuber are a great help because you get to use the little you've learned and try on the internet, yes. The problem is, by its nature, acting is unnatural. It's scripted, staged. Yeah. Oh, wait, there's one. 待って、まかないさん、よかった。舞妓さんちのまかないさん。You can watch 舞妓さんちのまかないさん。舞妓さんちのまかないさん was real. But that's 京都弁。あれ、舞妓さんちのまかないさん、京都弁だし、しかも。Never mind. I don't know. I guess you can. 舞妓さんちのまかないさん on Netflix. It was a great series. And I was about to say they speak really naturally, but I didn't realize that they speak in Kyoto dialect. So. 京都弁だけじゃないですもんね。It's not just 京都弁, it's the Maiko language. 舞妓さん言葉、京言葉ですもんね。Never mind, it's not even Kyoto dialect, it's Kyoto language, so it's only spoken by Maiko sans. So, Maiko san manga is so good to me. I know, I love that. But, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. 考えときます。はい。I just saw the trailer on Netflix. If you like slice of life, if you like food, it's a great series. ブブ漬けどうすそうね。It is easier to tell the difference with English voice acting, so it took time to adjust being able to tell the difference in Japanese. Yeah. Yeah. そうですね。俺もテラハ見たことないけど、友達がよく見る。まあ、テラハね。他にあるかな？I'll think about it. また考えておきます。でもあんま、なんか自然なドラマとかあるかな？あ、ガリレオ？あ、ダメじゃん。全然ダメじゃん。ガリレオ全然普通じゃない。私ドラマ見ないんですよね。One of the things is that I don't have a TV. I don't really watch TV. Or like Japanese dramas. TV shows. Well, I guess I'll think about it. まあ、考えときます。Sorry. So, Long Vacation is a drama I watched. Long Vacation? Long Vacation? 知らないかも。ドラマ I watch Criminal Minds. 古っLong Vacation's older than me. Long Vacation 私より古いですわよ。I've never even heard about it. 聞いたことないですわよ。キムタク出てんの ?1996 年に最終回。やば知らないこんなん。私知らない。How do you know all of this stuff? I don't even know all of this stuff. 見たことない。ない。聞いたことない。Sorry for being that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. そういうわけじゃない。So, reading sense is featured in a certain magazine now to get better in conversation. Ah, thank you! Didn't expect Vtubers magazines to be one of my learning materials. そう友達からおすすめしたじゃなくておすすめされたです。If you say おすすめした、it means I recommend it. そう、おすすめされた。おすすめされたです。そういや、おすすめされたんですね。But yeah, get the VTuber magazine. はい。But yeah, we'll think about it. We'll talk about it again. But anyways, shadowing is a great way. はい、ということでね、shadowing しましょう。shadowing is amazing. はい、以上です。VTuber の雑誌あるの？はい、私出ました。Yeah, I was featured in the VTubers magazine. へへ。そう、添削してくれてありがとうございます。いえいえ、どういたしまして。Yup. I got featured in the biggest VTuber magazine. Can you believe that? You can get it on Amazon. That's why you all need to get Twitter. I post on Twitter. Should have posted on YouTube, but はい、そうですね。anyways そうです。上の雑誌増えたよね。コンビニにも売ってる時代ね。びっくりしますよね。私 Amazon で買ってもらいましたけど Where do we find it? Let me check リンク送ります。Where is it? It was a while ago. Oh, it's on Amazon JP, yeah. Okay, I'll check Twitter. Thank you. Yeah, check Twitter. I'll put it. Does anybody else have any other questions? 他に質問ある方いらっしゃいます？ If not, I think it's about time that we should end it. もしなければね、本日終わりかなと思います。I need to go all the way back to my tweets. 結構前初めてですよね。8月 it was published in August 23rd, I think. No, 28th. あった。はい。Anyways. September issue. Yes, it's the September issue. So, yeah, one more question, but it's more of a cultural thing. Okay, one more question. では、let's make this the last question. 天岸さんからの質問最後にして終わろうと思います。Okay, go ahead. Cultural question. Let's go. はい、これ最後にして本日私も寝ます。まだね、作ったなめたけまだ冷やしてる途中だから。I'm still in the process of cooling down my なめたけ。そう。なめたけタッパーに移して保存しなきゃいけないからね。大変ですわよ。はい。Well, 天城さん is typing it. Let me talk about my future plans. 天城さんがね、多分質問書いてくださってる間にちょっとここ数日の予定発表しますね。The day after tomorrow. No, tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow marks my year of streaming. I have debuted on June, but I started streaming last year September, so I'm gonna be doing an anniversary just chat. I usually never do just chat, so this will be one of the first times that I do in months. So I hope you all join. はい。Okay. I'm in a Discord with people of varying ages. There's a 中学生 and he often asks me English-based questions. Considering he's far younger than me, I still refer to him as son, but it feels off to me. Wondering how I should refer to people who are significantly younger and junior to me. Good question. I think son is actually totally fine. Address. Addressing those. No. Add. It's 2Ds, right? 2Ds? 2Ds? わかんなくなっちゃった。Yes, 2Ds. Addressing those who are younger. そう。Addressing. 自分より若い人に話したらタメ口でいいかな。難しいですね。2Ds, okay. If I were you, I would still talk in 敬語。タメ口ですね。タメ語も悪いわけじゃないんですけど、タメ語難しいな。どうですかね。タメ語 vs 敬語。OK。タメ語 vs 敬語。OK。タメ語と敬語。If I were you, I would still use 敬語 and I will explain the reason why. For those of you who don't know these terms, タメ語 means the casual language and 敬語 means the honorific, the polite language. The reason why I would still use 敬語 is simply because I want to show respect and also maybe because I don't know them in real life, as in like a friend kind of a way. You can also use タメ語 like we talked about because the person is significantly younger as well. But that's the thing about the internet. Internet is a really interesting place. There's a reason why people on the internet usually talk to each other in Tamego, and it is because I feel like it almost came from the culture of one of those anonymous websites where you can just like chat with other people. And it was a lot more common, and it still is a lot more common for people to speak in Tamego because that's just the culture there. But you do want to understand that that is not the way people speak in real life, and it can be considered rude as well. The reason why I think Keigo might be good is simply because it will still show them the respect, and by you using Keigo, it will be easier for them to show respect to you. Like, for example, in school, students would talk to teachers in Keigo. Some teachers might choose to talk to the students in Tamego, but I think it's an unknown, unreally said culture and a fact that those teachers who talk in Keigo usually will receive a little bit more respect, and there will be more of like a good boundary between each other. I think that's maybe what I'm trying to get to. Like, having good boundaries is healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is important. I think I'm またぐるぐるしてる気がするな。はい。Okay, I hope I'm not ぐるぐるしてないといいな。はい。Sun seems like generally a safe bet, though I'm weird and like the way that kun sounds for juniors and she does for elders. She, don't use she. She は使わない。She is a very animated way. People usually don't use she. That's only for anime characters, actually. I use a lot for books, authors, and my teachers didn't say anything. Oh, okay. So your teachers might not have said anything, but she is not commonly used at all. It is usually only used in anime. Okay. So, 了解です. I agree using Keigo with him. He's very curious about me since I'm the only foreigner in the Discord. Oh, well, I hope you get to have a really good friendship. しね。何々しってオタク用語なんでね。Yeah, I don't think a lot of people talk about it, but adding she after a person's name is a very otaku-like culture. It doesn't mean that it is not polite, but people usually use it more in a jokingly way, and so it's not necessarily polite if you use it in actual conversations. If that makes sense? そう、難しいんですけど、she は普通はね、使わないです。Yeah, we usually don't use she. she は使わないかな。はい。You can use it between friends. Like, I have some friends who would probably refer to me with she in a joking way. Again, but it will be a more joking way. So, only otaku would use she, I guess. Yeah, only otaku. If you think about anime characters or manga characters that would use she, you can probably tell that they're very much like depicted as very stereotypical otaku. So, yep. 水木氏、あそこのメイドがおすすめですぞ。あ、もうやばい、秋葉原だ。秋葉原だ。メガネかけてるのがシャツインしてる人みたい。そうそう、ドゥフ笑いでね。はい。そう、古菓子ってね。そうです。なんか、でも死って3文字にしてがいいですよね。うん、はい。So, I use she as a kind of a joke, but there's some YouTube creators who generally appreciate their craft videos, so I use she for them. Okay, so the kanji for that she is usually not used on its own. You maybe want to use it with the occupation name. Like, for example, a lot of people on the internet uses the term eshi. Eshi means a person who draws, but you also want to be careful with the usage of that she too. So, ishi, ne? So, I use it for the occupation. Okay, good. So, ishi とかね。Ishi means those who draw. But you also want to be careful that you're not using this too much outside of the otaku culture, because a lot of them are actually otaku terms. Like in real life, for example, there's a big difference in feel between the term like eshi versus ekaki. Eshi, those who draw, and then ekaki の人ね。画家とかね、耳を合わせ画家。画家とか、 Gaka will be more like a visual artist, like artist, painter. So for example, even though they have the same meaning, eshi is usually used in the otaku culture as illustrators. And so some people refuse to be called eshi because they're like, no, mine is not just illustrations like comic art. There's so much more to what I do. And so you want to make sure that you're not using it outside of the otaku culture. And so that's my only advice. So, well, another habit to learn. Sorry, but you can just keep on using sun. Sun is just generally the best. はい。なるほどね。初めてタメ語で話させられたとき、私もタメ口で返せると思いましたが、やっぱり丁寧語の方がいいです。そうですね。丁寧語の方がいいです。丁寧語の方がいいです。Yep. 丁寧語 is just an easy way out of things. はい。But I don't know. I think it's a lot more common for people to start off with using tenego, and then gradually, when you start feeling like you're getting really close, you slowly mix tamego and keigo together, and then you kind of start to get a feel of if the other person is comfortable with that or not, and then you can switch. But yeah, that's what I do. There's a lot of people that I use keigo too, but it doesn't mean that I'm using fully keigo. I'm using a combination, a mixture of tamego and keigo because we're that close. はいです。そう。すいません。Did I get the conjugation wrong? タメ語で話させられた means you were forced to speak. なので、you can use 話しかけられた。話しかけられた。This means you were talked to. You're the recipient of the action of somebody talking to you. 話しかけられたとき、そう、話しかけられた to be talked to。どうぞ。はい。そうです。No, but you're doing great. Those conjugations are really hard. 日本語の、難しいですからね。You're doing really good. Don't worry. ってことで、本日はここら辺で終わろうかなと思います。I think I'm gonna end soon. かな？でも、I hope that you're able to learn something new. なんか新しいものを学べたらよか、学んでほしい。学べたらよかった。日本語がおかしい。ありがとうございます。はい。皆様、新しい何か学んでいただけましたら幸いです。ありがとうございました。はい。ってことで、let me explain a little bit about what's gonna happen in the next month. ちょっとね、この先1ヶ月の予定についてお話しさせてください。So I've secretly kind of announced on Twitter, but officially, my last stream or video post maybe before I go into my hiatus will be on October 10th. 日本語難しいです。そう。いろいろ学べましたぞ、水木氏。ありがとうございますですぞ、プルガ氏。I'm new, so I won't be able to take part in the challenge, but I learned a lot lurking. Well, thank you so much, and no worries. 日本語難しいです。So it was a great stream, 先生。Thank you. Well, thank you for joining. ということでね、ツイッターではちょっと告知したんですけれども、10月10日がですね、私の、休止前、最後の配信となるかと思います。For those of you who don't know, the reason why I'm going into my hiatus is because I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. I'm getting married, but at the end of the year, I am going through a job change. I'm going through process of moving. And to make things worse, this is an international, intercultural marriage, so paperwork is a lot harder than I thought. There's also a certificate that I'm trying to study for, which is not going good. And so anyways, because of that, I am going to be taking a hiatus. And me being a perfectionist, if I don't go into an hiatus, I know that I'm gonna come back and try to stream more because I feel like that's my obligation. And so I decided to just fully take a hiatus. My plan is to come back, hopefully, at the beginning of next year, probably February or March. So, but again, I'll be going into a hiatus. 10月10日、とうとうの日って覚えておくけど、 外とすぐ、そうなんです。ちょっと意外とすぐでね。おめでとうございます。ありがとうございます。まあ、ってことで。So having that in mind, I want you to try to spend as much time as possible. I usually don't say this, but I would love to have you more here. そうです。ね。あんまりこういうことは言わないんですけど、まあ、残り1ヶ月ちょっとなので、できるだけ私と一緒に時間を過ごしていただけたら嬉しいです。So that being said, the last stream for this challenge will happen on October 1st. まあ、こちらのチャレンジの最後の配信は10月の1日に行います。And then I want all of you who has participated, it doesn't matter, it can be just for a little time. I want you to come and tell me how your experience was, what kind of growth you think you've had, and I would really appreciate it. And then after that, I want to also talk about this challenge moving on for the next few years. I want to know your opinion so that I can make things better. And I know that I wasn't able to execute all my ideas really well this year. I was a bit too busy. But I definitely want to know your ideas and would love to know what you think about what I should do for the upcoming challenges. ということでね、こちらの最後の配信は、最後っていうのが、こちらのチャレンジのですね、最後の配信は10月1日に行おうかと思いますので。はい。そうです。We'll treasure the time with Sensei before your big events. Thank you. ありがとうございます。そう。いろいろありますね。Good luck with the marriage and certificate. It sounds like a fun but also busy time. Thank you for yourself too. Thank you. ありがとうございます。ホームシックならぬ水着シックになっちゃう。メイドシックになっちゃう。本当になってくださるなんかね、ちょっと怖いんですよ。忘れられないかなって。My little fear is that people are gonna forget about me. Because I know how it is. 5 months as a VTuber is like 5 years in real life, and I just really hope that people don't forget about me. そう、忘れられないといいなって思ってる。はい。ということでね、and other stuff, I'm hoping to do maybe at least 2 more Japanese teaching streams, my Japanese 101 with other VTubers, and then I'm also planning on doing at least 2 English teaching streams for Japanese VTubers. あとね、終わる前になんですけれども、あと少なくとも2回は、日本語教室コラボ配信を予定しています。できたらいいなって感じです。英語教室コラボ配信もですね、ちょっと随分やってなかったんですけど、終わる前にあと2回はしますので、楽しみにしていてください。そうそう。です。So I remember studying for a couple of Cambridge teaching certificates. Definitely not easy. You're definitely working so hard. Thank you. I already have an English teaching certificate. Well, that's the degree that I have, but I'm trying to get the Japanese one. So 忘れるわけないじゃん。本当ありがとうございます。So time to send my wallpaper as music. Oh, yay! はい。そう。そうです。はい。To be honest, if you are always existing like usual on Twitter, VTubers are not easily forgotten. Okay, I'll try to be existent on Twitter. Okay, so that's the plan. ということで、これがね、ちょっと今のところの、予定です。Before I end, I definitely want to finish playing some of the games that I'm currently playing. And I also do have some just chat collabs, which I usually never do, and so I hope you'll have fun with those. あとね、普段しないんですけれども、雑談コラボとかも予定してたりしますので、ちょっと最後まで楽しんでいただけたらなと思います。So that being said, that is it for today. まあ、ってことでね、ちょっと長々となっちゃいましたけれども、本日はこちらで以上となっております。Thank you so much again for joining. Thank you so much for posting. Thank you so much for asking things. And I will see you again soon. 以上で終わりにしようと思います。Let me read out your names before I leave today. 本日ね、終わる前に皆様のお名前を読ませてくださいませ。はい。おめでとうございます。I am new to this channel, but I like how educational yet relaxing your stream was. Well, thank you so much. I know I don't really do like FPS gun shooting games and stuff, but I hope you're able to relax. ということで、Iron Tree さん、thank you so much for coming. ありがとうございました。マギーさん、お疲れ様です。ありがとうございました。セラさん さんもありがとうございました。ずっとね、英語だったのにいてくださってありがとうございます。はい。で、マリオさん、Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you for coming. プルガさんもお疲れ様ごきげんようということで、本当にお越しくださいましてありがとうございました。と、アシュクさん。Sorry. I know that I'm butchering your name. I'm really sorry. Bye bye. 野田 TM さん、bye bye. と、ラムスさん、Thank you, Sensei, for the stream. Well, thank you for joining. I really can't do these kind of streams without having students, so I really appreciate you for being here. リッキーさんもお疲れ様でした。ディオセフさんもありがとうございました。あとファンアートありがとうございます。本当。タイムトゥトゥロさんおやすみなさい。ループさんお疲れ様でした。ということで、アブセンコールさんまたね。ということでね。はい。またお会いいたしましょう。I'll see you again one day soon. And so, I will see you again tomorrow, I guess, for those of you who would like to come to my gaming stream. 一応明日ね、配信します。ゲーム配信、ノベルゲーム配信しますので、また来てください。ってことで、ルッドウィックさん、Thank you for joining! では、おやすみなさいませ。ごきげんよう。失礼します。バイバイ。